Shalom Aleichem, Mishnah Yomi for August 5th, Rosh Chodesh, Menachem Av. We should see consolation this month. Continues chapter 4 of Kidushin, all about Yichus, Jewish genealogy, and fitness to marry Kohanim and the like. Now, yesterday we saw an opinion of Rabbi Yehuda that the daughter of a male ger, a man who converted to Judaism, cannot marry a Cohen. Now, Mishnah Zion, where we pick up today, brings a dissenting opinion. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, Yisrael shenasa gioret, if the father was born Jewish and he marries a female convert, bito kashera lekahuna, their daughter can certainly marry a Cohen. A gioret herself cannot, but the daughter of one could. The ger shenasa bat Yisrael, and a male ger who married a girl who was always Jewish, bito kashera lekahuna, also their daughter can marry a Cohen, no problem. But if two converts get married, bito psula lekahuna, then the status of being converts does technically continue legabe kohanim, as far as kohanim are concerned. Now, obviously, their children are born Jewish once the parents have become Jewish, but in terms of marrying a Cohen, he says that problem continues for kohanim. And he adds, echad ger ve'echad avodim mishuchorim. This applies not only to converts, but to avdei Kananim, servants who are acquired from non-Jewish nations. And of course, as we mentioned, they go to the mikveh and they're quasi-Jewish. They have to keep mitzvot that are not, time dependent, not mitzvot to say, but they have to keep Shabbos. They have to fast on Yom Kippur. They're quasi-Jewish. Then when they're freed, they're fully Jewish. It's basically sort of a long-term, slow conversion process in a sense. So he says the same thing applies there. Afilo ad dorot, even to 10 generations, imo Misrael, until there's a parent who's Jewish from birth. So it was always avadi mishuchari marrying each other, and no actual really old school children of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov were involved. Then the issue would continue. Kohanim would not marry them. Of course, they're full-fledged Jews until Rabbi Yossi Omer. Now Rabbi Yossi adds of ger shenasa gioret, even if both parents have converted, or the same thing for if they had been converted through the being avadim and shvachot, bito keshera lekahuna. Their daughter is kosher, a Cohen can marry her. So this is the opposite of Rabbi Yehuda's opinion yesterday. And here the Bartanura and the Kehati also, they bring, the Gemara has a maskana. The Gemara concludes that if a Cohen would come and ask us if he can marry such a woman, a daughter of a ger and a gioret, we would tell him not to. But if they actually went ahead and got married, not knowing otherwise, we would leave them alone and let it continue. That's the maskana in the Gemara. So this is unlike other issues. If a Cohen had married a divorced woman and then they become religious and they realize it's a pasuk in the Torah, well, it's not something that we the sages let slide once it's already happened. So this is a little different madrega, different level here. Let's go on to Mishnah Het HaOmer. A man says, B'nizeh, my son here, mamzer, he's illegitimate. Eino ne'aman, we don't believe a father to say that about his son. Afilu shnehem, and even if it's both parents, Omrim, and they're both saying, Ala uber shebemeha, on her pregnant belly, on the baby that's in there, mamzer hu, yeah, that child is a mamzer. Einam ne'amanim, we don't believe even both parents together to give that status to the child. Rabbi Yehuda Omer ne'amanim. Rabbi Yehuda says, we do believe them. Really, the Gemara explains, we believe the father, and this is based on a pasuk, on a verse in the Torah. It's over in Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 17, and it says, the father can yakir the bechor, a firstborn child. Now we're talking about, we didn't know there was another firstborn child. Maybe this father is very old and very sick, and he has 5 sons, and they all gather around to be with their father, and he says, I need to let you in on something. There's actually a 6th son who's older than you, who's the bechor, and he's actually going to inherit twice as much as all of you. So the father could reveal that there's another firstborn son out there that no one knew about. And this is even when, God forbid, it was like a family member or something, that the relationship that created this child. So basically he could tell them, yes, you have a brother out there and he's a bechor and also a mamzer. And the Bartanura brings an amazing limitation to Rabbi Yehuda's logic here, that if there's a grandson, if that bechor has his own son, we don't believe the father to cast mamzer aspersions on the son or the grandson. because the kiyakir, the father has the power to recognize his son's status. That only applies to the son, not the grandson. So a father in this situation where there's a grandson couldn't assign mamzer status to his son because that would also affect the grandson. The Torah does not give him that believability. It's an amazing halacha. Good chodesh, sei gesund, tizku mitzvot.